spam the fuck out of this link. I don't care if we're on mute.
Hello and welcome to another episode
I
of
spammed
Tip
this
Balls
link
Podcast.
so hard. I sent it to so many people today.
I am joined by my two spamming co-hosts. To my right, it is the one, the only, the agitated, the frustrated, the angry Uncle Sam.
Hello.
And to my left, it is none other than our very own Mr. Solo, Mike Palazzolo.
I'm expecting all of you in the chat soon.
Well, yeah, and you're all probably here because of him.
I sent this to a total of 30 people, not including the group chats.
And if you all don't click in, Uncle Sam's showing me that he's first place in the league. What? Oh, both my uncles are first and second in the league. That doesn't matter.
Your uncle knows football too?
Tony?
Uncle Tony?
Yeah.
He auto-drafted.
Let's get him on here one day.
He auto-picked?
Dude, his team is amazing. He's got Christian McCaffrey. He's got all these great players.
It's like Garrett.
Yeah. He's
And auto-draft.
Garrett's not great.
Yeah.
Garrett,
Didn't he win 1 year off of?
he won 1 year off the auto pick. But in the tipped league, Uncle Sam and Garrett are fighting for the bottom spot.
That's all right.
And then in the IDP league, Uncle Sam is
I'm in last place.
sunk like a fucking stone right now. So welcome, everybody. How was your week?
Great.
Any highlights, lowlights, pits, peaks?
My highlight is right here. That's my highlight.
Low light?
That's my low light, too.
Okay.
It's both. It's both.
Solo, how was your week?
Week was a lot better than previous weeks. I'm happy it's over. I'm very pleased that it's over. I'm tired. I need a nap. But it was good. Good week.
Bruce, how you doing?
Fantastic.
Good. Good. Any meats going on right now? You making any meat this weekend?
I don't think so.
Anything cooking this weekend? The way that your beard is rubbing up against the mic right now is was making me uncomfortable.
Shout out to Omar. What's up, O?
Oh, PJ. Shout out to PJ. PJ's in now.
Anyway.
Zolo, what's on the menu?
Nothing tentatively. I'm tired.
You are?
Yeah. I can go for some chicken wings.
You could, eh?
Yeah.
So Wednesday night when we got done, I made a couple of nice New York strips. They were fabulous. Out on the Blackstone. You got to go an extra like 2 minutes each side when it's this cold out. But they still came out great. A little garlic butter action going on. Made a little zip sauce. Fabulous. Last night, did a little
I never had that.
What?
I've seen it and never had it.
Little
Zip
garlic
sauce.
butter? Zip sauce.
You've never had zip sauce?
I have a bottle up. I got an extra bottle. I'll give it to you to take home.
No. Not the bottle where you had the butter. We need to take him for either Lely's or Andiamo zip sauce.
Andiamo's
I've
has
been
the best.
Andiamo.
Andiamo's has the best zip sauce.
Let's do that. We'll take him in a bronze door one night.
Lely's is no joke as well, though.
Lely's is the original zip sauce.
I mean, it's
don't know if
fucking
you know that.
delicious,
Lely's invented the concept of the zip sauce. I agree that Andiamo's is better.
Tentacles?
Oh, yeah.
Is that tentacles
Zolo-
or testicles?
It's tentacles.
Okay.
Tentacles. Zolo asked a question in the fantasy group chat beforehand, and some people are answering in. PJ wants to write in, getting things started early today. Brock Purdy or Will Levis for the rest of the season? And actually,
If I were you,
We're going to do it.
We have a
we're
game
if I
to
were you,
recap.
PJ, if you picked up Will Levis, which
Don't
I'm
tell
sure you
him
have
that.
because you're like 5 steps in front of everybody because you're looking at that shit at 3 o'clock in the morning,
And constantly crying.
take Will Levis the rest of the year.
All right. Before we get into last night's game, should we do a little bit of news? So, some injury updates, a little bit of news. Cardinals running back Amari DiMercato, who's had a nice couple of games. I know most of us don't know who he is, but
Tentacles.
yeah. Hello, President Baker. Welcome. He will be out for Sunday's game. Kyler Murray is questionable. I think that is the most fake questionable tag I've ever seen, personally. I don't think
There's no way
there's no way
they would have traded Josh Dobbs if he wasn't ready.
I don't think he's ready. I think you're going to get, what's his name? Who is it? Phalanges?
Clayton Tune?
Clayton Tune, and then the other guy, the second guy, were both taking reps with the number 1 offense and number 1 wide receivers. And Kyler was throwing to the number 2 group the entire week. He's questionable. I doubt we see him this week. I think he comes back next week. They might just want to see what they have in Clayton Tune before they bring Kyler back. Doesn't mean they're low on Kyler or anything like that. He may even play if he feels 100% or if they feel he's up to speed. I just think it's going to be Clayton Tune this week, and then they're going to go Kyler next week. And Uncle Sam, I disagree on the whole, they wouldn't have traded Josh Dobbs. They're in last, and they have a chance to get the first pick. So this is good for them. They're right where they want to be, I think, and I think that they'll make a move because of it.
Rams quarterback Matthew Stafford is questionable for Sunday due to a thumb injury. They're expecting him to be a game-time decision.
He shoved it in Kelly's butt.
They're going to wait as long as they can to declare him out. Bills quarterback Josh Allen missed practice yesterday, but practiced fully today. He is now off the injury report and has no designation for Sunday. He's going to start against the Bengals, so the shoulder must be okay. I don't think it's 100%, but I think it's okay. The Falcons have ruled out wide receiver Drake London for Sunday's game against the Vikings due to a groin injury. Nothing there? I expected to hear something.
I don't give a shit. Go ahead.
Curtis Samuel will be out for the Commanders due to a toe injury.
No, good. Maybe now they'll throw to fucking Tarek McLaurin.
Tarek?
Fucker.
Terry.
Scary Terry.
Herbert. Browns quarterback Deshaun Watson is expected to start Sunday against the Arizona Cardinals.
He's a limp dick.
So in last night's game, linebacker Cole Holcomb for the
Sorry, Elizabeth. Sorry, I didn't know you were on there.
Elizabeth, what is that emoji?
I don't know where
How
that
did you
came
just
from.
do
That's
that?
awesome though. It's like the Cookie Monster ripping its face.
Cookies are only good sometimes. I thought it was the limp pecker, but okay.
Oh, it could be.
What?
It could be.
That's a limp.
It could be an uncircumcised pecker.
Cole Holcomb's knee injury was confirmed today as a torn ACL, so he will miss the rest of the year. Outside of that,
He was having a good year too, Cole Holcomb.
I think we're pretty well covered. Tight end Darren Waller will miss Sunday's game versus the Raiders. That came out earlier in the week.
Okay.
Outside of that, I think that's the news. So if you guys want, we could get into last night's abysmal matchup.
That's interesting.
What is-
Leon just told me that DeMar Hamlin is playing the team that almost killed him last week.
In the same place.
Actually,
He's returning to the scene of the crime.
is he really?
Yeah.
That's perfect. And I want to see him cover T. Higgins again, and T. Higgins drive that helmet right into his shit again. Go
Well,
ahead.
Can I say something real quick about the whole? Because I was on the show last year when the DeMar Hamlin thing happened. That shit was really scary. Had he not been where he was, if he was at home or whatever, he's dead. Am I wrong about that?
No, you're spot on.
There was no better place if that's going to happen to a human being for that to happen than on a football
Think
team.
about that.
He got immediate response. There's an
Right.
ambulance 300 yards away that came and got
Yeah,
him.
they were pumping him before the ambulance
Exactly.
got there.
They had
Yeah.
the tools to
Literally.
resuscitate him on the field. They barely resuscitated him. I mean, if that's going to happen, that's where you want it to happen. So I'm sure that he's not as much looking forward to. Oh no, that's where. It happened.
I mean, he's actually very lucky. I mean, because it
He's
could have
very
been
lucky.
pretty bad.
Could have been. It could
You
have
know,
been.
he could have been in a hotel room
If he was at
somewhere with
home
some-
or even at
with
the
some
practice
hoochie
facility,
mama,
hotel.
and then
Yeah,
he'd have dropped dead right there.
agreed. If he
You
was
know.
anywhere but the
Be
football field during
careful,
the
all
game.
you young people getting that vaccination before you do anything strenuous.
Okay, that's it. That's all I had to say.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's do last night.
Last night, Will Levis and the Tennessee Titans headed up to Pittsburgh to play Kenny Pickett and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Tennessee. Actually, you want to know what's fucked up? We forgot to preview this game on Wednesday. We went so
Yeah,
long
we did. I was
so,
looking at it yesterday. I was like,
I was like, what the
did I
fuck?
pick?
How did we fucking
I can't
forget?
remember who I picked.
We forgot to preview this game. Pittsburgh now sitting second in the AFC North after a 20-16 win. Tennessee now bottom of the AFC South. Some quick thoughts before I turn it over to these guys. Kenny Pickett, I know he had been battling a rib injury going into this. He did not look good. He didn't look good at all. He was missing receivers left and right. It was a very subpar performance from him, just to say the least. Next up, I thought Pittsburgh finally paid attention to the run game. I thought they were effective in the run game. I thought both Jalen Warren and Najee Harris looked pretty good last night. That was optimistic to see for them. As far as the other side of the ball goes, I thought Will Levis had a very nice game. I thought he looked good, poised. He looked strong. He's able to make some really nice deep throws. And Derrick Henry did Derrick Henry things. Outside of that, my biggest takeaway from this game was that the Pittsburgh Steelers offense is kind of shitty. Like, not kind of shitty, pretty shitty. And their defense will bail them out of 90% of their issues and win them at least 8 or 9 games.
So the Steelers are 5-3. I'm reading an Adam Schefter tweet right now, too. I want to cite my sources as a proper journalist. The Steelers are 5-3, and they're the 34th team since 1933 when rushing and receiving stats were first tracked to be outgained in each of the first 8 games of a season. And they're the only one out of those teams to have a winning record.
So they've been outgained in every single game and still have a winning record.
They've been outgained by a total of minus 790 yards, so almost 100 yards a game. Second worst only to the Broncos this year. So there's a team that they're 31st this year in getting outgained.
Yeah.
Where are they in turnover differential?
Well, you've
'Cause
got-
that's
It's
probably
got to be significantly
gotta be
positive.
significant.
I'll see if I
it's
can
gotta
find
be.
that. You have to figure that Broncos one is extremely inflated by the game that Miami had 1,000 yards.
Yeah,
too.
Right.
Agreed.
So,
yeah, because they
Pittsburgh's
haven't come
offense
close
is
to
a
that since then.
yeah, no, Pittsburgh's offense is abysmal, but that defense is so good. They were just completely.
I
controlling
actually
the line.
thought they were not very good yesterday. Pittsburgh's defense.
They could have been. They
weren't their usual.
I agree. They could have been better. They were getting gash for sure. If the Titans convert in the red zone half of those field
When
goals,
Cole
it's
Holcomb
over.
went out, the whole defense changed. They were able.
I
They were
agree with
really
that.
pounding
They
the
lost-
shit out
I
of
agree,
them.
and he's been a monster all year.
Yep.
He's-
That's what happens. You get the
he's
shit
been
pounded out of
secondary.
you when your linebackers are
They
not
got
in.
Hayward back now, which is good, or they're getting Hayward back. But he's been secondary to after Watt. It's Cole Holcomb, so that's a big loss. And that was a gruesome injury too. It was a bad one.
One other thing that I noticed from this one, the Steelers. What are you doing? Why is Kenny Pickett not able to find George Pickens? He's not able to get this guy the ball.
Hold on now. They were rolling safeties toward his way every play. Every play. I don't think it's about finding him. It's about Matt Canada, who was finally down on the sidelines, I guess, to talk to his guys. He just couldn't devise anything to get this guy open. And it sucks. You know, you watch here, I'm not trying to say that these two are the same, but if you watch Detroit and Ben Johnson's running plays to get Amon-Ra St. Brown wide open. They're not doing that with
Please
Kenny
tell me you're going
Pickett.
to talk about George Pickens right now.
Real quick, I'll let you do that. Real quick, Pittsburgh is first in turnover differential at +8.
Well, that's what I figured.
I figured, yeah.
That's why I told you that's why they had the winning record.
So, what were you going to say about George Pickens?
George Pickens is trending currently in the socials because he posted "Free Me" on his Instagram
Oh, Jesus.
because he had one catch for -2 yards
Oh,
yesterday.
God, here it is.
So George Pickens deleted all the Steelers posts on his Instagram and this isn't like today. This is right now. Changed his Steelers PFP to one from high school days. Pickens also apparently unfollowed quarterback Kenny Pickett, quarterback coach Mike Tomlin, and the Steelers official account on Instagram. This is following the Titans. Although he had -1 receiving yard on the Titans game from last night. Although he had -1 receiving yard on 2 catches. So
Who
George
gives
Pickens
a
is
fuck
pissed.
who he's following, who he's missing? Who
If you
cares?
unfollow all those people, it's
I
usually an
wouldn't give a
indicator-
fuck. I think
No,
it's
no,
so
no.
stupid
It
when
ma-
they do that.
We talk football though, and it matters because it means he's pissed. I don't give a fuck either.
I don't care.
I'm just saying
I
he's
don't-
pissed.
He wants out.
He wants out of
He's
there.
pissed. He's pissed. You know what? Don't be a pussy. Say it publicly.
I think he has.
Yeah.
Listen,
Come right out at the end of the game. when you're interviewed, hey, why did you have a one catch for -2 yards? Say because they didn't throw the fucking ball toward me. They can't design any plays to get me open.
So real quick on the Steelers, I think it's like we've been talking about Matt Canada ad nauseum the entire year. I think the problem is twofold. It's not just Matt Canada. It is also Kenny Pickett. I don't care if he's injured because we've seen what Kenny Pickett is when he is healthy, and it's not good. I don't think
Kenny Pickett's looking more like a backup every week.
I agree. I think he's probably a backup. I agree.
But they're invested in him, and they're going to have to run through it and see what happens. They're 5-3. What the fuck are you people complaining about?
They're one of the most fraudulent 5-3 teams I've ever seen.
I agree.
I mean, still they have a you know
I have
what?
them in the playoffs,
They're
too.
still in the playoff hunt. So you know what? Here's the thing: if Pittsburgh strings together 3 or 4 good wins, you won't even fucking hear about this anymore.
The AFC playoff picture. Okay, I'm gonna ask you some questions.
Go ahead.
You think they're better than the Ravens?
Who?
Pittsburgh. This is their
They
division.
beat them once.
This is their division. Do you think they're better than them? Do you think they could beat them?
No,
again?
I don't think they're better, but they did lose to them
Do you
once
think
already.
they could beat the Bengals? I think they beat them
At
once,
this
too.
point, no. Earlier, yes.
I think they beat the Bengals too. Do you think they're better than the Browns?
Yes. At this point, listen, Tug and Rub is a fucking disaster. Let's all be honest.
Okay.
They have one of the best defenses in the league, and their offense, they're so inconsistent because they don't have good quarterback play right now. And there's no reason why you shouldn't. If you got a guy that's guaranteed $50 million contract, he should be tearing asses. He should be ripping and a tearing, and he's not.
Right now,
do you think they're better than the Jets?
Who?
The Steelers. Do you think they beat the Jets?
I'm a Jet guy, so you're asking the wrong person.
So no.
No,
Go
I
ahead.
don't.
Give us the other teams.
right now, Pittsburgh is currently the 5th seed, so the first wild card spot.
All right, so they're
So
the
they're
first
above-
wild card spot. That's not bad.
Wild card one's probably Buffalo.
Wild card 1 is Pittsburgh.
Oh, wild card one is that's right. Sorry.
Wild card 2 is Buffalo.
Okay. Do you think they're
Okay.
better than Buffalo? Do you think Pittsburgh can beat Buffalo?
I think they could.
I don't think.
I don't either.
I don't think.
Okay.
Okay, out of every team above them, I don't think they beat any of them. I don't think they beat Kansas
Listen to me. If
City.
they're playing in Pittsburgh and it's cold, they could beat Buffalo.
Listen, that's fine. They cannot manufacture any points. They can't. So Kansas City's going to outscore them. Miami's going to outscore them. I think Jacksonville's going to outscore them. I think if Baltimore plays them again, Baltimore will beat them. Okay? I think Buffalo outscores them and beats them. I think they've got a great shot against Cleveland. I think they've got a decent shot against the Jets, even though it would be a 7-3 game. And I think Cincinnati's better than them.
I don't think there's a lot of teams. So it comes down to if Kenny Pickett is in a shootout,
They're going to lose.
they're going to lose every time.
Yep.
He's going to turn the ball over. There's only so much their defense can do against some of those teams. I personally don't think their
Reminds me of the
defense is
49ers.
They're 49ers without the run game.
Let's do Will Levis real quick.
Yes.
49ers without the run
You
game.
want to talk Will Levis? Go. Let's hear it because I want to talk Will Levis too.
I like what I see out of him.
Same.
You know, everybody was talking shit that Malik Willis was the heir apparent. He was doing so well this year.
Does
He's
Will
garbage.
Levis lose his job
He's
when
fucking
Tannehill
trash.
gets back?
No.
It's Will Levis's job to lose. I don't even think even if Tannehill comes back and he's healthy, I think you just sit him
I agree.
1,000%.
and
So-
and let this kid grow, man.
PJ, real quick, I don't know if you're still here, but you asked Brock Purdy or Will Levis the rest of the season. This goes back to my Brock Purdy argument when I say I watch him. I watch him. Brock Purdy makes the throws that he's asked to make. You could talk about the system all you want. I was watching Will Levis last night. Was he a world beater? Hell no. But every throw he was asked to make, he made it.
Yep.
He didn't make an errant throw until the end of the game, and it was a forced throw. Will Levis makes the throws. There was a 1st and 23 with his feet on the goal line to begin the second. Was it in the second quarter?
I believe so.
It was a 1st and 23, and he threw a perfectly threaded pass to Hopkins that went for a first down. And Will Levis, I don't know what he's going to be. I don't love his situation, but he makes the throws, and that's a start. If you can make the throws that you're asked to make.
We need to see Levis in a situation where they're down by 10 and him bring the team. I'll put the team on his back and win.
Yeah.
That's we have not seen. We've seen him play up. We haven't seen him play down.
Can I be honest?
Go ahead.
What I saw out of him last night, as Zolo said, he's making the throws
Yes,
they're asking him to make.
I agree.
Agree with that. I think he's Brock Purdy with better arm strength.
Oh, a lot better.
Well,
He's more prone to errors.
but he's greener.
yeah,
correct.
He's a lot more
He's
prone to
green.
errors than
He's
Brock
green,
Purdy
but
is.
I'll tell you this about him. Brock Purdy wishes he had his arm.
I
kidding me,
agree with
dude?
that. I think Will Levis
Guy
has
can
great
make all
arm strength.
throws, dude.
But I'll say
Will Levis's comparison was Stafford,
Correct.
which is all you need to know about Will Levis. You're gonna take that good. You're gonna really take that good, but there's gonna be a hell of a lot of bad if you're Matthew Stafford.
this is the other thing. Their offensive line's fucking atrocious. Tennessee's offensive line is awful.
And they got destroyed yesterday.
Actually, you know what?
Like-
I will say this, and I wanted to mention it. The right tackle, Broderick Thomas.
Broderick Jones.
Broderick Jones.
Yep.
Very nice.
I agree.
I
had a
thought
nice
he did
game.
a fucking really good
did.
job against
He
a
contained
tough,
Harold Landry.
a
Yeah.
pretty tough.
They could use Taylor Lewan right now.
I
low-key.
mean, come on, dude.
There was a point in that same drive we were talking about where Levis had the 1st and 23. There was a point where 3 straight plays they lost someone
an
on the
offensive
offensive line.
Yeah.
3 straight plays, their offensive line injuries.
Also,
Yeah.
did you know, and they just reminded me of this in the chat because me and Elizabeth were talking about it last night. Did you know that Will Levis uses mayonnaise as his coffee cream?
Yeah, I did. I heard that.
And eats bananas with the peel on them.
That's fucked up.
Stupid.
No, that's fucked up. That's fucking gross.
You know what? I don't know, dude. I'm not gonna comment on it either or. I really don't care. I mean,
I
you
know
put,
you
What do you
put
care-
fucking.
What
hold
do
on.
you
What
care
do you
about?
care
Hold on.
less about?
You
Will
put
Levis
you
using
put
mayonnaise?
coffee cream in your fucking coffee. Put mayonnaise in there. It's fucking just a blop of oil. It's the same shit.
What do you care less about? The coffee? Will Levis putting mayo in his coffee, or
George
George Pickens posting that he unfollowed all the Steelers on social media? What do you care less about?
The mayonnaise in the coffee is
Okay.
just stupid.
Oh, okay.
It's just dumb.
All right. I was hoping you'd say that.
It's dumb. It's dumb.
Do you care
As
that
far as him with the social media shit, dude, and I'm going to tell you this, and I'm going to tell all you young guys this. Listen, you got a problem with somebody, be a fucking man and go up to him and tell him you got a fucking problem. Don't post it all. I'm going to shut you off my social media, fucking pussies.
Yeah.
All right. Next up. Should we get into the picks?
I would love to.
You want to get into
This
the
is
picks?
a good week.
You want to get into the fucking picks?
This is the best week so far this year.
Hey, cheese dick. This your weekend homework. You know how you did the thing for the news? We need a thing for the fucking picks. It's time for the fucking picks.
Yeah, we need a picks thing.
Good.
Got it.
Get that? Yeah, here we go. We need a fucking picks thing. Amen. Palazzolo's voice is like audible truffle butter.
Thank you, House.
Preach. Next up, we have our picks of the week, and we're going to start off at Deutsche Bank Park. Which city is this? Munich
It's
or
Frankfurt.
Frankfurt? Okay.
Guten fucking Tag.
Guten fuck. The Miami Dolphins are heading to Germany to play the Kansas City Chiefs. So we have first in the AFC East versus first in the AFC West. Both these teams are sitting at 6-2. Kansas City going to this one a 1.5 point favorite. The over/under of 50.5. Uncle Sam.
Du hast snitch.
You know, it's like literally one of my favorite songs of all time. And I've been
I
trying to
love
see.
Rammstein.
I've been trying to see
I wanna
Ramstein
be
in
the
person.
Lead singer of Rammstein.
His name's Till Lindgren, by the way.
I know who
and
he
he
is.
does.
I
this
know who
thing-
he is.
He does this thing mid concert where he goes like this. It's like a downward fist pump. It's called the Till Hammer.
It's called the slap you with the hammer.
Yeah.
Yes.
If they ever come here, I want to go to that concert with you. They were here 10 years ago at the Palace,
Hey,
and then they toured last summer in some
Dolphins,
stadiums.
Chiefs over. What
He's
am I-
saying to take the over.
What the fuck am I looking at here? What game are we talking about?
We're
again?
talking about the Dolphins and the Chiefs.
Why we're speaking in German
Okay.
right now. It's in Frankfurt.
Right.
We're in Germany. I think the Chiefs are going to come back and play a little bit harder than they did last week because they were fucking awful. I don't know about this guy. I got a feeling I'm going to go over on this.
I'm going to agree with you. I am going to take
I'm
the
going to go
over in
over.
this.
What's the spread?
Kansas City is a 1.5 point favorite.
Oh, shit. I don't like that. Nick Bolton is out for the year, I believe.
He's on IR. I don't know if he's
Not
out for
IR.
the year, but he's
At
on
least
IR.
the next 4 weeks.
At least 4 weeks?
Yep.
Okay. I'm going to take the Chiefs in this game, in the over.
You are.
Yeah.
Any specific reason why? Because you prefaced that by saying Nick Bolton.
Because this is what's going to happen. I can play the scenario out for you right now.
Do you want me to
Taylor
go over
Swift
any other
will
injuries?
fucking-
Okay.
come down out of the fucking top of the stadium.
Taylor
with an
Swift will
egg,
not be in Germany.
She's in
and
Buenos
she'll break
Aires
the
this
egg.
weekend.
She'll come out. Everybody will love it. All these little Swifty people.
She's not there.
And
She's
she'll
in
be there.
Argentina.
She'll be there. She's saying she's not
She
there.
has a concert that day in Argentina.
She's gonna fly
Okay.
all the way from Argentina to fucking Munich or wherever they're playing,
Frankfurt.
and Frankfurt, and she'll come down out of the sky and float down like a dove, and everybody will love it. The NFL will love it because that's what they want. They would rather have fucking Swifties be their fans than true football fans. That's what they want because it's all about money.
Question for you. You want to go see Ramstein in Prague on May 11th?
I would
No.
totally go.
Tip
I
takes
got a
Prague.
bad
them.
wheel right now, so I can't really go to a concert.
Tip takes Prague. All right.
So real quick, can we do 30 seconds of Ramstein before I get into my pick?
Sure.
No, I gotta
Because you
go.
were talking over me. I want to see Ramstein with you. They did Soldier Field last year, Labor Day weekend. I had no one to go with. Nikki was going to go with me, but he goes, no, I can't. I got to do something. And then when I was in Europe this summer, I just missed them in Germany. Ramstein's literally the top of my concert list. So when
Okay.
you want to go, you tell me. I'll go see them in any American city. That's it. That's all I had to say.
Okay. Now I'm
Wait,
going.
I got to pick the game after you, too.
Go ahead. You want to take it first?
Oh, you haven't picked it yet.
I haven't picked.
I
Go
thought
ahead.
you were moving on. I
No,
thought you
go
were
ahead.
moving on.
No, I'm not moving on.
Go ahead.
All right. So Willie Gay is also questionable in this game. The other linebacker, Nick Bolton, is out in this game. There is a laundry list of injuries for Miami. Xavier Howard may not play. Braxton Berrios may not play. I don't care.
Braxton Berrios will play this week. I will say that.
I'm going to take.
That kid's got balls as big as church bells.
I'm
Go ahead.
going to take the over in this game. All right. I know that the European games are usually a shit show. There's not a lot of scoring that
you
goes
got
on.
on your head. What is that?
They're Coach Prime's sunglasses.
Oh God.
I'm channeling my inner Coach Prime for the picks this week. I'm going to take the over because both these, if there's two teams that are going to hit a European over, it's these two. That's number one. Number two, Taylor Swift's in Argentina. Travis Kelce will have 50 yards and no touchdowns. Number three, the Miami Dolphins need to win a big game. They need to beat a formidable opponent. They need to win a big game. I don't think this Chiefs defense, missing both of their starting linebackers, is nearly as potent. I think that the Dolphins are going to win this game. I don't think that it's going to be a blowout by any proportions. Oh, we have it on good authority that Braxton is playing. But if you look at the Dolphins' two losses this year, they're
Church bells.
at Buffalo and at Philadelphia, right? They have not won either of their big games. I think they've got to win this one, and I think they will. I'm going to take Miami, and I'm going to take the over.
I'm going to start with someone in the chat. Housesmith, you nailed it in terms of the wonkiness of the overseas games. I'm going with the under, just to go counter to you guys. I like the under in this one because that's a big number, 50.5. And I think that Chiefs D is going to be, even regardless of all the injuries, I think they're going to be a bigger presence today than everyone else is giving them credit for, number one. Number two, I'm going with the Chiefs. So I like the Chiefs to cover, obviously, and I like the Chiefs to win it outright because there's one coach that I trust more than any at the moment in two situations. Number one, after a loss, that's Andy Reid. Number two, on major prep, that's Andy Reid. And I think Andy Reid is going to handle the international prep with the flying over and everything. He's going to have his team ready to go at 9:30 a.m. on Sunday morning, even though that's 5:30 local or 3:30 local time, whatever. I just think that the Chiefs are going to be more prepped and more equipped to win this game. Look for a monster Chris Jones game. I don't know who in the middle is going to be able to handle Chris Jones for the Dolphins, and I think they're going to have two on his back a lot of the time because of it. And if you don't have as much time to get Tyreek Hill the ball, all the bulletin, I agree. There's no one on the Chiefs that could cover Tyreek Hill. But there was a lot of bulletin board material that was lobbed. And Andy Reid drafted Tyreek Hill. So he's going to know how to prep for him at least a little bit. I'm looking for a bigger game out of Waddle than Hill. And Waddle's been hot the last couple weeks, but I really like the Chiefs this weekend.
Bring up a lot of good points there. You do. So am I the only one who took Miami?
Yeah.
Oh, Bruce, you're taking Miami with me?
Absolutely.
Oh, it means we're fucked. All right.
Bruce was up. He was neck and neck with me last.
I know he was. I know.
Angie's right, but
Yeah, the Chiefs are coming off of a loss, too. That adds a whole nother aspect to this.
Yeah.
I don't know how many times. We talked about this earlier in the year, how many times Mahomes has lost 2 games in a row.
It rarely happens.
It's happened like 3 times his whole
rarely
career.
happens.
So, but President Baker, I love where your head's at. I agree. Cheetah's going for 120 and a touchdown. That's a 9:30 game. We're moving on to the 1 o'clock games. The Cousins-less Minnesota Vikings are heading to Atlanta to play Taylor Heineke and the Atlanta Falcons. Atlanta comes out as a 3.5-point favorite in this one with a whopper of an over-under, 37.5. Who wants to start this one?
I think they're going to look a lot better with Taylor Heineke behind center. Atlanta. This is where your division-winning Atlanta Falcons finally show up to play. And obviously, I just think there's going to be some major issues. Josh Dobbs isn't starting, from what I understand. So I think there's going to be major hiccups with the Vikings to start.
Jaron Hall has been named the starter for the Vikings.
Jaron Hall starting for the Vikings. So I'm going to go with the Falcons at home. And you know what? Even though there's no Drake London, I think we're finally going to start to see what Bijan Robinson is all about. I like the over in this one. I think they can go over 37.5.
I am also going to stick with Atlanta in this game. I think Atlanta comes out on top. I think that Taylor Heineke will have that offense moving the ball pretty well. You've got to feed Bijan Robinson in this game. The scariest part of Minnesota's defense is their secondary, right? So if you keep the ball on the ground as much as you possibly can, you should win this game. And to be honest, we have no idea what this Minnesota offense is going to look like without Kirk Cousins, with Jaron Hall at the helm, with a pretty impotent run game as of late, with still no Justin Jefferson. Like, we have no idea what to expect out of this Minnesota offense. And I think it's going to take them a few weeks to figure out their new identity. I'm going to take Atlanta. I'm going to stick with the under in this game, though. I just don't expect a whole lot of points. I expect Atlanta to run the ball a ton. I expect them to control the time of possession. I'm going to take Atlanta, and I'm going to stick with that very low under. Uncle Sam?
What's the spread?
Atlanta is a 3.5-point favorite. The over-under is 37.5.
We'll take Atlanta and the over.
Any insight there?
Heineke's a good quarterback. So
You've had a
guess
Heineke
what?
hard on for a long time.
Guess what? You're about to see. He should have started at the beginning of the year.
Agreed 100%.
I don't know what the fuck they were thinking starting Desmond Ridder over Taylor Heineke.
I don't think he's amazing, but Taylor Heineke has won big games. He's won playoff games. He's won more playoff games than Matthew Stafford
He's
won
all
in Detroit.
guts and balls.
He's guts and balls. I'll give it to you. And I think he's way better than Desmond Ridder, and he should have been starting day one.
Yep.
Next up, a game for the ages.
it's the only game I couldn't choose.
The Arizona Cardinals are heading up to Cleveland to play the Browns. Clayton Tune, as of right now, is the starter for Arizona, but Deshaun Watson will be playing for the Browns, it looks like. Cleveland is a 10-point favorite. The over-under is 38.5. Uncle Sam.
I'm going to take the under, and I'm going to take the Cardinals to cover.
Who are you taking to win?
Cleveland to win.
Yeah, I'm 3 for 3 on that. Cardinals are going to cover that. I think Clayton Tune's been in the system enough to where he'll be able to run the offense, and if it's an offense that's getting better, and I think there's going to be hiccups offensively with Deshaun Watson coming back, but obviously I like the Browns. I obviously like it under. It's a low-scoring game.
I think the 10 points is way too much.
It's a big number. Real quick, since we agreed on all 3 things, will you bark for me?
No.
Well, hold on. I haven't picked.
Go ahead.
I'm going to take Arizona to win this game. I'm going to take Arizona to win this game.
That's an awful pick.
You're fucked.
Am I fucked?
I took Arizona.
Bruce took Arizona too. Listen to me. I'm not ready to write off Clayton Tune, but I'm ready to write off Deshaun Watson. That's the difference.
If Deshaun Watson's bad or gets injured again, they just put in P.J. Walker, and then he runs what they've currently been running.
Okay. I think there's for some reason, all right, this Arizona team has been in every single game that they've played this year, outside of 1 or 2, all right? And you have said it most on this show. They fight hard every week.
They play hard. Listen,
They play hard every week.
If there's one coach in this league that if he doesn't win another game for the fucking rest of the year, that should not be fired. It's my man there in Arizona because
Yeah,
he's done a great job.
he's
These
not
guys
getting
play
fired.
their ass off for him.
He's not getting fired no matter what
Yeah.
happens. No matter what happens.
I'm sorry. I am not a believer in Deshaun. I'm not. I can't, and I'm not going to pick it. I'm not doing that. I'm going to go Arizona to cover, to win, and I'm going to take the under in this game. I think that Cleveland's offense is going to look better with P.J. Walker than it does with Deshaun Watson, at least this week. And I'm going to take Arizona to pick up their second win.
I
and
like what
fuck
you're
up
saying.
the whole season.
That's if he could even play through the whole game.
I like what you're saying. I just think in Cleveland is one of the factors that matters most because the dog pounds there.
He's going to be barking.
I just think in Cleveland it's a factor that matters. That's been a really other than the Baltimore Ravens, it's been a really tough place to play for every team that's played there this year. So I kind of like the Browns there.
I think that this, and you want to know my other thing? Look at what Titty Badgett did in his first game. Clayton Tune's this is his shot.
And Clayton Tune's been in the system. I know he's a rookie. He's a rookie, right, Clayton Tune?
Yes.
I know he's a rookie, but he battled for that starting spot. It came down to the last preseason game. In fact, they were named as co-starters. So Clayton Tune's not going to be a slouch. I love what that offense has done.
They named Dobbs the starter like 2 days before they fucking
Exactly.
opened the season.
That's what I'm saying. And if they got that far with Josh Dobbs to where they were in every game, let's see what Clayton Tune can do before we write him
They
off.
play hard as hell. I look at Jonathan Gannon and what he's done is similar to what I think I've said it on the show before. I think it looks similar to what Dan Campbell did in his first year. They were getting shit pumped, but they were playing hard, and they were very rarely blown out. Very rarely blown out. I love what the Cardinals have done this year. I love their future. I'm going to love them even more at pick one. You keep Kyler, you do a little reclamation project there, you turn him into what he should be, and you throw Marvin Harrison in the mix. That's a good little gig there.
I want a Clayton Tune jersey if they win this weekend. Next up, the LA Rams are heading to Green Bay to play the Packers. It looks as if Matt Stafford will not play in this game. He is a serious game time decision. Puka Nacua is also questionable this week with a knee injury. Quay Walker for the Packers is questionable with a knee injury as well. As we know, the Rams starting running back Kieran Williams still on injured reserve. So it is going to be the Royce Freeman and Darrell Henderson show running the ball for the Rams. But I do have a piece of information here that in a press conference today, Matt LaFleur said that Aaron Jones had a great week of practice. He looks 100% healthy, and he is ready to cut him loose. So,
And he's still questionable.
well, but that's essentially the head coach saying we're going to see a full dose of Aaron Jones this weekend.
I haven't seen it since week one.
Green Bay's a 3-point favorite. The over-under is 38.5. Zolo, what do you think?
I'm going with the Packers. I think they're going to easily cover that 3.5 too. And I like the under. I just still don't trust anything Jordan Love's doing. But with the game itself, what it comes down to is the Packers just really need this one. And therefore, I think they're going to win. They need it more than the Rams. They're still kind of in it because the bottom of the NFC is garbage. So they could still make a push. Do I think they're going to make it? No. But we talked about it last week. This is a really huge 10 games coming up for Jordan Love. He could lose his job, and he's got to prove it with this one first. So I think he's going to come out strong.
Uncle Sam?
I'm taking the Packers and the under.
Care to elaborate?
No, Matt Stafford.
So if Stafford was playing, in
If
this
Stafford
game,
was playing, I would take the Rams.
I think this is our first sweep. I'm gonna agree with you. I'm gonna take Green Bay -3, and I'm gonna take the under in this game as well. I think if they're able to utilize Aaron Jones, this Rams team is on the brink of just completely falling apart, in my opinion. Without Stafford, there's no real threat there.
So are the Packers, though.
The Packers are honest to God, though. I think the Packers are still in better shape than the Rams right now.
They just need this one.
They have to win this game.
They're both very young teams and have a lot of young players. My God. It's just, you need veterans at the key spots. And I actually think that if Stafford was playing, you would have more of an opportunity for them to beat Green Bay.
Next up, A game that Uncle Sam's got to just love. We have the Washington Commanders heading up to Gillette Stadium to play the New England Patriots. New England is a 3-point favorite in this game. Kind of shocking.
Say that again?
New England is a 3-point
How
favorite.
the fuck
in this
is
game.
that?
I was looking at a lot of people picking this game too, and it's not an overwhelming majority, but a majority of people are picking the Patriots to win this game.
Are you serious?
Dead serious.
Huh.
Yeah, and I
Okay.
mean, New England is favored on multiple different.
How the fuck is that?
It's Vegas.
They got trounced last week.
We
Listen,
should be asking you.
Washington almost beat
Patriots
Philadelphia.
have-
Yeah.
They got their turn.
Which one of you
They
wanna
got their
start?
turns
I'll do
pushed
it.
in last
I'll
week.
do it. I'll say this much: the Commanders tend to follow up one of their potent performances where they put up a lot of points. They followed up with a really bad performance the next week, and I still love how Belichick game plans defensively. Unfortunately, I think there's guys that he can't out game plan. And I like how I think Eric Bieniemy is going to have a really good game plan
When
offensively.
was that home?
Patriots are at home.
It's at Gillette. Yep.
I think Bieniemy is going to have his offense ready to play, and
And their favorite.
you can't deny the points that they put up. You can't deny it. I like how they spread the ball around against the Eagles, and I'm gonna go with the I'm gonna take the dog here. I'm gonna take the Commanders to win, the Commanders to cover. What's the over under?
The over/under in this game is 41.
I mean that's a scenario. I think the Commanders could easily put up 25 themselves. So I think it'll happen.
I'm going to take the Commanders to cover this and win as well. I'm also going to hit the over. I expect a big week out of the Commanders. I'm sorry, but when are we going to stop playing this game with New England? Like, you know, they're going to at some point rise up from the ashes. Like, it's not going to happen for them this year. It's just not. Mac Jones looked decent last week, but honest to God, I think the Commanders secondary. I mean, are they the best? No. But are they the worst? I don't think so. I think this over-under has a little bit to do with the fact that they traded away both their defensive ends this week, which could mean something. But ultimately, I think the Commanders can just outscore the Patriots straight up. Uncle Sam.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Redskins in the over.
Are you sure?
Yep.
I thought there was no doubt in my mind you were going to take the Patriots.
No, I'm going to take the Redskins in the over.
Any
Any
insight?
bearing on it? You really want to know why?
Sure.
Just because as shitty as sometimes they play, I think offensively they're better than New England. And defensively, I don't think you lose two guys. Like, I'm not going to say much. Chase Young is what Chase Young is, but Montez Sweat is a very good player. And for him to be gone out of there now, it's going to be some big shoes to fill.
Next up, the Chicago Bears are heading down to the Superdome to play the Saints. New Orleans is an 8.5-point favorite in this game. The over-under is 41. Titty Badgett looking like he's getting the start again this week for the Bears as Justin Fields is doubtful going into Sunday's
What's
game.
his problem?
Fields,
He practiced today for the first time.
What's his problem?
Broken cunt.
broken thumb.
That's what
Broken
I said.
thumb on his throwing hand?
The one in between his legs.
I don't know which hand it is. Give me 1 second. We'll figure that out.
I think it is his throwing hand, for the record. It happened on a play where he took off with the ball. That being said, he practiced today for the first time.
It is his throwing hand.
He practiced today.
Okay, and if there's anybody that can't throw accurately to begin with, that's a fucking. They're better off with Titty Badgett
Yeah, we're gonna get some more titty.
because you know what, my man couldn't throw a fucking ball when his hand was good. So if his thumb's fucked up, they might as well just cut that bitch off.
And
Go ahead.
So, are you gonna pick this? Or?
Yeah, I'm gonna take New Orleans.
Okay.
And what's the over under?
41.
41. I'm gonna take the over.
Shockingly enough, I think I'm going to agree with you. I'm going to take New Orleans in the over too. New Orleans put up some decent points last week. The offense looks a little bit more invigorated with Alvin Kamara. And at the end of the day, even though it didn't really look like it against the Chargers, if the Bears can actually run the ball, they're not going to get blown out. So I'm gonna take New Orleans still, but I like the over in this game as well.
I like New Orleans in the over.
Clean sweep.
Clean sweep. That means the Bears are a lock.
Yeah.
You know what that means,
We
don't
were
you?
clean sweep on the Chiefs over the Broncos. That was the only one that didn't go our way that we were locked in. I like New Orleans in the over. I think that New Orleans needs to keep making progress offensively. I read someone on Twitter trying to justify that Derek Carr isn't the problem. I still think they have no identity offensively, but I would like to see...
I wouldn't blame Derek Carr for that.
If
I
there's-
would say that.
Yeah, it's the staff. If there's a way to get your offense going and to come up with an identity and to set a pace, I think you do it against the Chicago Bears.
What's that guy's name over there? Dennis Allen?
Dennis Allen.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of his.
Dennis Allen. Well,
Not a fan of his. I don't think he's very good.
he might be a division winner.
It's
So
just my opinion. That's all.
Next up, we have the Baltimore Ravens hosting the Seattle Seahawks.
this is a 1 p.m., right?
This is a 1 p.m.
So listen to the slate. I'm jumping ahead here, but listen to the slate if you want to do this on Sunday. At 9:30, you can do Chiefs Dolphins.
Yep.
At 1, you can do Ravens Seahawks, two teams that beat the Lions. At 4:30, I think is
Dallas,
Cowboys
Philly.
Eagles. Cowboys Eagles at 4:30.
Big game.
And then at 8:30 is Bengals and Bills. There's
Oh,
a
nice.
good game. I don't think I've ever seen that before.
Oh,
There's a premium
yeah.
game in every time slot. It's a great weekend for the Lions to be on the bye because there's going to be good football on all day Sunday.
Agreed with that. 1,000%. So this game, Seattle heading to Baltimore. Baltimore's a 6-point favorite. The over-under in this one is 44. Injuries, there's not really too many big ones affecting this game. I'm going to be honest. For some reason, this game feels a little bit trappy for Baltimore. As much as I don't love Seattle and I don't want to take Seattle here, for some reason, this one feels like Seattle might be able to win this game. I don't know if I want a Seattle cover or a Seattle win, though. Does anybody want to take this while I ponder?
Yeah, I'll go.
Go.
What's the number on the cover?
Baltimore's a 6-point favorite.
Oh, I'm going to take the Seahawks to cover that. I think it's going to be a little bit closer. I'm also going to take the under just because I think that a lot of what the Seahawks do, the Seahawks go as their offense does, and they like to put up points. This is a defense that they're not going to be able to put up as many points on. But conversely, I think their defense has gotten better enough to where they'll do a little bit of contain on Lamar. And this might be a whoever has the ball last type thing, and I like Lamar Jackson with the ball in his hands last way more than I like Geno Smith. I also just like John Harbaugh at home. He tends to do really well in Baltimore, and they've been getting better. The Seahawks don't. You know what the Seahawks are? They're the Ravens before they played the Lions. The Ravens needed that statement win. The Seahawks, good for them. They're 5-2 or whatever. They don't have that statement win.
No,
at the
they
moment.
do not.
They need this. They need this really bad. I don't think the Ravens are going to yield that statement win. It might come down the road against the Niners, maybe even the Eagles. Probably the Eagles, to be honest with you. I don't think it's going to happen this weekend in Baltimore, though. Give me the Ravens, the Seahawks to cover, and I like the under.
I'm going to take Baltimore to win, Baltimore to cover, and I'm going to take the under as well. Uncle Sam?
I'm going to take Baltimore to win. I'm going to take the over.
Ooh.
Do you think the Seahawks can cover that 6.5 or 6 or whatever it is?
No.
You think Baltimore's?
I think Baltimore's going to make a statement.
See, that's the thing. I'm going back and forth in my head of who's going to be the team that makes the statement.
John Harbaugh lives for this kind of shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, when his team slept on,
Yeah.
he's always got his teams
Let me
prepared.
tell you something. Seattle's about due for a good ass punch.
You know what? I thought
I believe it comes this week.
You might,
We're in
you might be
lockstep
right.
there.
You might be right. And you know what else about the
They're due
Harbaughs?
for a good fisting.
You know what else
good
about both the
asshole
Harbaughs?
punch.
There was a great quote from Mike Sanistro, Michigan's captain, on the Harbaughs. I can't remember what it was. It was some people don't forget, some people do this, some people do that. He goes, the Harbaughs never forget. And one thing the Harbaugh brothers both like to do is they keep receipts and they keep vendettas. And Pete Carroll has a beef with his brother Jim Harbaugh that goes back to Stanford versus USC and then Seattle versus San Francisco. And I think John Harbaugh is going to pull the receipts and try and beat Pete Carroll's ass this weekend.
Okay.
I like John Harbaugh. He's a very good coach. I like him.
Yeah, these are
He's
two of the
a lot
longest
better
tenured
coach than his
coaches.
brother. His brother's a douche.
These are two of the longest tenured coaches in the league, John
Yep.
Harbaugh and Pete Carroll, along with Tom.
John Harbaugh is a straight up. He's a very good football coach.
Agreed.
Very good.
Next up, we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers heading to Houston to play the Texans. Houston, a 2.5-point favorite in this game, the over-under of 40. I think that this is where C.J. Stroud, who's not had a very good month, gets his mojo back. I think Tampa Bay starts to show their true colors, or keep showing their true colors. And I think Houston comes out of this with a big win.
Is it at Tampa?
No, it's
In
in Houston over an overrated NFC opponent. I'm going to take Houston to cover to win, and I'm going to take the over in this game. The Tampa Bay's offense has been extremely stagnant. I think they got to put up some points this week. Todd Bowles has got to get it kind of figured out, but I expect Houston to have a big game. I think that C.J. Stroud comes out and puts an exclamation point on this. Due to the fact that Dameon Pierce is not playing in this game, it's going to be mostly on his back. Give me Houston to cover, win, and hit the over. Uncle Sam?
I'm going to take the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the under.
I'm with you. I think so. Let me ask both of you a question. Who needs this game more? Because both of these teams are
Houston.
3-4, if my math is correct.
No. Both of these teams are, they are 3-4. You're
And then they're both still in the playoff picture.
correct.
You think Houston needs it more? Who do you think?
I actually think Tampa does.
I think Tampa needs it more because Tampa's got more of a shot to win their division.
Listen, Houston's already, and I don't want to sound stupid here, but I think they've already overachieved from what everybody was expecting them to do.
Agreed. You don't sound stupid.
I mean, that's my opinion. And I just think that Tampa needs this game so much more than Houston does. And I'm going to be honest with you. I think the Dameon Pierce thing is a big deal. I think they like to run the ball, control the clock, and they're not able to do that. That puts Stroud in a bad position.
Don't forget about Devin Singletary now.
Stroud has not looked good. I'm still a Stroud boy. I think he's abandoned Nico Collins as a Nico Collins fantasy owner. I think that's one of the reasons they haven't moved the ball offensively as well. I know Tank Dell is back, and I know Tank Dell, you got to work him in somehow. That being said, I just really think Tampa they really need this one. This is a winnable game for them, whereas a lot of their past games were not winnable.
What gave Houston what they started out doing in the beginning of the year was real simple. It was running the football that opened those lanes up for Stroud to push the ball downfield. Now, the past couple of weeks, they haven't been able to do that because they're not able to run the football consistently, and that's what's hurting them.
I'm with
And
you.
I think if they can actually get some kind of a pulse of a run game this week, they could beat them, but I just don't see it against that Tampa defense. I just don't see it.
What's the over-under?
The over-under in this game is 40.
Ooh, boy. I'm going to take the over. I'm going to take Tampa to win. And then what was the spread?
The spread is Houston is a 2.5-point favorite.
Well, there we go. Tampa to cover as well. Tampa to win, Tampa to cover, and I like the over.
I'm stick Houston and the over. Next up, the Indianapolis Colts are heading to Carolina to play the Panthers. Indianapolis is a 2.5-point favorite. The over-under is 44. Uncle Sam.
It's 44.
44.
And who's favored?
Indianapolis is a 2.5-point favorite.
Who's they playing?
Okay. I'll start and then
Oh, who they playing?
The Panthers.
Indianapolis is going to Carolina to play the Panthers. Indy is a 2.5-point favorite. The over/under is 44. I'm going to
I'm
throw
going to
it
surprise
to
you right now. I am going to take Carolina in this game to win, and I'm taking the over.
Go ahead, Zolo.
I'm going to echo that. I'm taking Carolina in the over. I think they're going to hit their stride a little bit over last week. I like what I saw of Bryce Young. He's gotten better every week. So I'm going to go ahead and take the Panthers. I'm looking for a big game.
I'm not Mitch McConnell, asshole.
I'm looking for a big game from Adam Thielen this week, who's been fantasy wide receiver number 5, if I remember correctly.
Thought he was higher than that.
He
no,
might be higher
I
than
think
that.
he fell down the ranks
Okay.
a couple spots.
I just think getting that first win was huge for them last week.
Yeah.
You know, huge.
I'm with you. And plus this always happens with Gardner Minshew. Comes in hot. They game plan for him, and then the wheels start to pop off.
Put up a 32 weeks ago and put a fucking 10 last week.
I know that Cleveland defense is good, but that when they put up a lot against Cleveland, that was indoors at home. I think outdoors on the road, it's going to be a little bit different and a little bit harder for Gardner Minshew. Give me Bryce Young in a little bit. I like the over as well, and a little bit more of a quarterback duel. But give me Bryce Young.
Okay, I'm going to disagree with both Zolo and Mitch McConnell here. I'm going to take Indianapolis to cover and win this game. I'm going to take the under in this one. Listen, Indianapolis has lost 3 in a row. I think that Jim Irsay goes on a drunken murderous tirade if they don't win this game. They need to pull this one off just to keep track with Houston and stay somewhat relevant in that playoff picture. And guess what? I'm fucking sorry. I don't give a shit that Carolina won the one game. I think they're still the worst team in football. And at the end of the day, Gardner Minshew has shown us he can do it. I think this is his opportunity to do it. They need to get a win here, and I think they do. I'm going to take Indianapolis to cover and win, and I'm going to take the under. I just don't think Listen to me. It's a blind squirrel nut situation. Like, what, we think Carolina's going to get hot now? Not me. Give me Indy. Give me the under. Next up.
Oh, wait, underrated storyline, Frank Reich coaching against the team that fired him.
So
that's another, I think that goes in my favor, person.
that does go in your favor. Next up. In what I believe is the toilet bowl of the week, the absolute shit show, dumpster fire, fucking poop game.
The last game wasn't it?
No.
Go ahead.
No, that wasn't the poop game of the week. This is. The New York Giants are heading to Las Vegas to play the Raiders.
Daniel Jones playing this game.
Yes.
Supposedly.
I'm going to take the Giants to win and the under.
Darren Waller's out if that makes a difference for
I
you.
don't care. Take the Giants to win and the under.
Zolo?
I'm actually going to go with the Raiders.
There we go.
I think there's going to be some fire for Aiden O'Connell. I think that everything I've read, it's funny the parallels to Josh McDaniels getting fired, the parallels to when Patricia and Quinn got fired and how the Patriot way just doesn't work. Instantly the next day, the vibes were great. We saw Devontae Adams shooting mini basketballs. They brought the ping pong table and the cornhole back, and there's a couch back in the room. And if I remember correctly, the Lions came out and won after Thanksgiving and put up a big fight for Darrell Bevell when he was the first game as interim head coach. Everyone loves Antonio Pierce. I think Antonio Pierce used to play for the Giants too, right?
Yes, he did.
Yes.
Everyone loves Antonio Pierce. Everything's positive. Everything that's come out is positive. Max Crosby had some really good things to say. He also almost said the N-word. He probably did say the N-word. I don't know if you saw that. Anyways,
He did.
I feel really good about what the Raiders, they have the pieces. The Giants do not. They have the pieces.
Here's the thing, though. For what I see out of the Raiders against the Lions is real simple. I actually think that Giants defense will feast.
Go ahead. Oh, yeah.
You have to remember, okay? He has to pick the Giants this week because of his Thibodeau comments in the previous episode. Yeah. So he's got to take them.
You'll see.
So
Watch out, Aiden O'Connell.
I got Raiders to
coming.
win, Raiders to cover, and I also like the over in this one too.
So and you took the Giants in the over?
Yep.
Okay, I'm gonna take
Giants in the under.
under 37.5. I'm gonna take Vegas in the under. I agree. I think that Aiden O'Connell can't be any worse than Jimmy Garoppolo. Okay, this Raiders team still has 3 wins. If Aiden O'Connell has half a brain, he's going to chuck the ball up to Devontae Adams as many times as he can and not overthrow him by 20 yards. Daniel Jones plays, Max Crosby's been tossed around like a rag doll once, and he'll be out of the game. And I just don't think there's anything on this Giants team right now that really appeals to me, especially with their one decent pass catcher, who was Darren Waller, is now out. So I'm going to take Vegas to cover, and I'm going to take the under because I don't think the Giants are going to put up dick for points. Next up, Dak Prescott, Mike McCarthy, and America's team, the Dallas Cowboys, are heading up to Philadelphia to play the Eagles. The Eagles sitting at 7-1, are first in the NFC East. The Cowboys sitting at 5-2, are second in the NFC East. Philly is a 3-point favorite in this game. The over-under is 47. Cowboys coming off of a huge win against the Rams, where CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott both played great games. Mike McCarthy put in his bid for Coach of the Year after winning that one. Uncle Sam, what do you think?
Taking the Eagles and the over.
Why? Didn't you see that big win out of Dallas last week?
Did I see it?
Yeah.
Yes. Taking the Eagles and the over.
Do you care to elaborate?
Taking the Eagles and the over.
This one's in Dallas, right?
No, it's in Philadelphia.
In Philadelphia, I'm taking the Eagles and the over, and I think you're going to see a muchly improved team than what we seen last week.
Muchly improved.
What's the number?
Philly is a 3-point favorite. The over-under is 47. Go ahead, take it away.
I like Dallas to cover.
Ooh.
I like Philly at home. I think Philly ends up pulling this one out. I think this is going to be a lot closer. Philly's games against the good teams have been close. They've all been close. Obviously, Miami, it wasn't as close as the scoreboard looked, or the scoreboard wasn't as close as the game looked. It was still a closer game. I think it's going to come down to the end, and I think Philly's going to come out on top. And you know what? The defenses are just banged up enough and just bad enough that I like the over. Give me Philly to win, Dallas to cover, and I like the over.
So Philadelphia's only loss of the year is to the Jets, all right? And it's hard for me to think that this Philadelphia team, not last year's Philadelphia team, but this Philadelphia team is going to sweep the NFC East and finish this year with one win, all right? So now if you look at their schedule, I'm trying to break it down in my head. Are they going to lose this, or are they more likely to lose coming out of the bye to Kansas City? Honest to God, I think they're more likely to lose this. Dallas was real hot last week against the Rams, and I know the Rams defense does not compare to Philadelphia's, but they looked real hot. Dak Prescott didn't make any mistakes. CeeDee Lamb looked good. The Dallas defense looked good. I'm going to take Dallas to cover and win in this game, and I'm going to take the over because I think both these teams are going to put up points. I think it's going to come down to either a 3 or a 7-point game, and I think Dallas comes on top barely, igniting Philadelphia into the bye week.
If Dak Prescott has to play from behind, he'll be utter dog shit.
I don't think he's going to play from behind.
If they play from behind, he'll be utter dog shit. He'll make stupid throws and okay.
I think it's going to be a neck-and-neck race the whole time.
Okay.
Next up, on Sunday Night Football, Damar Hamlin and the Buffalo Bills are heading back to the scene of the crime, which is Paycor Stadium in Cincinnati, to play the Bengals. Cincinnati comes into this one as a shocking 1.5-point favorite. The over-under is 50.
Why is that shocking?
What?
Why is that shocking?
Why is what shocking? That Cincinnati's favorited?
favorite in this game.
I think
Because
that
Joe Burrow finally looks like Joe Burrow now.
Well, that's why I think it's surprising because
I don't think it's surprising.
Joe Burrow's looked like Joe Burrow for about one game.
Hey, why's your back to him right now?
I'm just asking a question.
Yeah, but why are you facing the opposite direction?
I don't know. My back's bothering me.
All right, fair.
Okay.
I'll give you that.
Cincinnati's a 1.5-point favorite in a very unshocking twist of events. The over-under is 50.5. Uncle Sam, go ahead.
We'll take the over and Cincinnati. Because they would have ass punched them last year, and because of the Damar Hamlin bullshit,
Would they have
they
ass
were
punched
unable
them
to play.
or asshole punched them?
Oh, they were getting their assholes punched. Josh Allen was going to get his asshole punched. Yes.
I think so. For the same reason almost. I first things first, I agree. I think the Bengals would have won that game had the shit not hit the fan last year.
Oh yeah. Easily.
I don't love Josh Allen in big road games. I really don't. And I just love what Cincinnati's done. They've come on nicely, and I'm buying in. I still don't think they're going to win the division. I still don't think they're Baltimore good. But this is one.
I think they're right there. They'll be right there when they play again.
They should be able
right
to
there.
handle Buffalo. It's going to be hard for me. You'll notice a theme going forward. It's going to be really hard for me to pick Josh Allen until he gives me something to pick. I know he was good last week. I don't see him putting up crazy numbers on this Bengals defense. It's much improved. But I like the over. I think they can come up with a 54 or 55 type number. I like the over.
Shout out to your boys in there in Buffalo.
Yeah, shout out to the
fuck
Yak
is their
Boys.
names?
Shout out to the Yak Boys. I don't think they're coming out though.
The crack boys.
I like the Bengals. I like the Bengals to cover. I like the Bengals to win outright, obviously. And give me the over in this one.
I'm going to take the Bengals as well, which means the Bills will win. I think Cincinnati covers this game. I think Cincinnati wins this game. President Baker just asked if Leonard Fournette, the big signing of the week, was playing for the Bills.
No.
It does not look like he's going to play this week.
Not this week. Next week.
I'll be honest. I think Cincinnati, this is realistically, okay? I think this is a must-win game for Cincinnati. I just do. If their division right now is so good to stay on pace, they've got to win this game. Buffalo can afford to drop a game and still be good, look good in the playoff picture, and be only a game or two behind Miami, especially with Miami playing KC this week.
Can I counter that? Can I devil's advocate that?
Sure.
I would argue the other way around. Why it's bigger for Baltimore is why it's bigger for Buffalo. Buffalo's still in it to win their division if they want. Their division is up for the taking, in my opinion.
Ooh.
I don't think it's going to happen. I picked Miami preseason.
So did I.
I picked Miami to go to the AFC Championship game. I don't think Buffalo's good. But on paper, Buffalo is still in it, mathematically. Whereas Cincinnati, I think, is less in it. What are they, 2 games back or 1 game back? I think they're 2 games back, right?
Cincinnati is 2 games back.
2 games back, and I just think Baltimore is significantly better. So Cincinnati really, the bottom end of that AFC playoff picture is bad, but they really need to keep pace so they can get a better seed. Whereas Buffalo is fighting for the division. Buffalo's still in it for their division, which is what their expectation in upstate New York, in Western New York, their expectation is a Super Bowl. Not saying it's not in Cincinnati, because of course it is. They made the AFC Championship game 2 years in a row. They got a Super Bowl to show for it. But Buffalo, it's been my theme on this show all year is how bad Buffalo has been, how lackluster, how they always underperform. And I think that they need this game a little bit more than Cincinnati does. That's just my opinion. The only counter to that is that Cincinnati's division is tougher, and therefore they're going to have to pull some games out of their ass versus Cleveland,
100%.
versus Baltimore, versus Pittsburgh. That being said, I still think this is must win for Buffalo because Josh Allen needs that signature win on the road. I don't think Miami at home was a signature win. This would be a signature win, and to be something that could boost their season going forward.
That very, very true. Very true. I just think I still think Cincinnati's going to come out on top in this.
I'm with you.
They've got to. They got to.
They're playing well right now. I mean, in the AFC, the only team I think that's playing better than them is the team in their own division, and that's Baltimore.
Yeah. Should we pick Monday night?
Yeah, let's do it.
Fuck it. We'll do it, right? We'll do it live. Monday Night Football. The Los Angeles Chargers are heading to New York to New Jersey to play the Jets. The Chargers are a 3.5-point favorite in this game. The over-under is 40. As far as the injury report looks right now, obviously, we still have a few days, but no real big names on there. Besides Kenneth Murray, maybe, and Eric Kendricks, both linebackers for the Chargers. Uncle Sam.
What's the what is it again?
Gangrene is a 3.5-point dog.
I'm going to take Gangrene into 3 points.
3.5.
I'm sorry, to 3.5 points, and I'm going to take what is it?
40.
40. I'm going to take the under.
Ooh. Zolo?
I don't think the Jets are bad. I don't think they're a bad team. I think they're perfectly where their record is, regardless of Zach Wilson. And out of all the defenses that he's gone against, this is a defense that he can move the ball against. I'm looking for two keys to this game. Obviously, number one is Zach Wilson. I think he's going to be a difference maker. Number two is Breece Hall. I think Breece Hall is one of the hottest running backs in the league at the moment. And one of the recipes, Tony Pollard did it a couple weeks ago against the Chargers. One of the recipes to beating the Chargers is to ground pound. And I'm looking for a big game from Breece Hall this week. And I'm taking the Jets to win it outright, the Jets to cover that. And I actually like the over. I think there's going to be some points in this one, even though it's the Jets defense.
I'm going to go Jets in this game to cover and win. And I'm also going to take the under and agree with Mitch McConnell. I think Breece Hall has a monster day against this Chargers defense. I think he absolutely tears them up. Zach Wilson hasn't looked atrocious. I just think it's going to be the big Breece Hall game. The Chargers, even though they beat up on the Bears pretty good last week, I still think there's something flaky about them. Brandon Staley is going to get outcoached by Amu Bob. They haven't utilized Eckler properly, and I just think that the Jets find a way to win this game, but I don't think there's 40 points. It's just, for me right now, it's really hard to see the Chargers manufacturing points against that Jets defense. So, with that being said,
shout out to Amu Bob. Shout out to Arab Fantasy. Shout out to Z. And shout out to Ruslan. Thank you for watching. But mainly shout out to Amu Bob.
shout out to Dan.
Oh, shout out to Dan, of course. Dan, we see
Welcome,
you in the chat.
Dan.
Shout out to Sarah. Sorry, Sarah, I think you sent that high when we were talking about Josh Allen. Elizabeth also has Josh Allen, so she probably doesn't like when we talk shit about Josh Allen.
No, she actually gets very upset. Yeah.
Yeah, Sarah gets upset
Who
when we
does?
talk about Josh Allen.
Huh? Elizabeth doesn't like
Both of our
how negative
girlfriends.
we are about Josh Allen.
Both of our girlfriends have Josh Allen in their respective fantasy leagues.
They think we're too low on Josh Allen.
No, they just
That
get
puts
offended.
points up. I mean, what are you going to do?
Yeah, he's quarterback one right now.
Yeah, it's fantasy. That's the whole thing. Fantasy.
Do we have anything else that we need
Can
to?
we real quick because we've been great on time. I want to say this hasn't been our best show, but it's been really good still, and we're doing really good on time. I love how we picked these games and we got through it. Let's just have a quick Brandon Staley conversation.
Okay.
He loses this week. He loses to the Lions. Does he lose his job?
Yes. I think that's got to be it.
Let's backtrack. He loses this week. Does he lose his job?
You want to know something?
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Dude,
Go ahead.
your thing is against the mic, and it's Do I have to have Bruce come take the drill?
You could try.
Anyways, do I think Staley gets fired this week? No, because the Chargers have showed us that sometimes they really don't give a shit what the loss is, right? Like, I mean, that loss, they lost the first two games of the year, like against Miami and then at Tennessee. I expected them to be 1-3 by the bye week. They pulled one out against Minnesota. Then they lost two straight, Dallas and Kansas City, and they looked decent against a Chicago team with a backup quarterback. So I think that they lose this game to the Jets, and he's on the hot seat, and then they lose to Detroit, and he's gone.
Okay.
What do you think?
I just realized.
I don't think he'll be fired till the end of the year.
I just realized I was Googling that on my phone, but then President Baker brought up a good anytime score question, which I want to do. Can you look up the Chargers rarely? Okay, Chargers rarely replace coaches in midseason. This is an article from last year. History says that the Chargers will not fire. Oh, this is from Anthony Lynn too. That was 2 years ago. So, history says that the Chargers likely won't fire him midseason. I just realized this bodes really well for the Lions because that game's in MetLife, right? Is it at New York or is it in San Diego?
This game is at the Jets. Yep.
Yeah. So the way that works is the Lions are going to get a Chargers team on a short week, whereas the Lions are coming off the bye, and it's a Chargers team that's going from East Coast to West Coast as well. So it's an even shorter week. So we talked about this the other day. The Chargers have to win one of these two games, and neither of them are gimmies because they're technically still in it as well. The bottom of the playoff picture for both of the division, the AFC and the NFC, is so abysmal that even if you're 3-5, you're still in it. So the Chargers are still in it, but they got to win games for him to be secure.
No, I agree with that. Here's the thing: is how are the Raiders going to react to the new coach? Are they going to want to go out there and really ball out for this guy to give him an opportunity to be the coach there, and that could throw that whole division there in a frenzy.
Tailspin.
I think the opposite. I think it's Denver. I think Denver's the team that could really fuck that entire picture up. I think Denver.
Well,
could
I mean, Denver as of right now is in second place.
Yeah, with win, they beat Kansas
and
City.
They beat Kansas City already.
And they have another big win too. I think they still have to play the Chargers twice. Yeah. Those aren't gimmies.
So yeah, Denver is on a bye this week, and then they're at Buffalo, at home against Minnesota, at home against Cleveland, at Houston, at LA, at Detroit, at home against New England, at home against the Chargers, at Vegas. So yeah, there's some winnable games in there.
Yeah,
100%.
Going back to the central question, I think if he loses both of these next two in nasty fashion,
that could be it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it depends on how ugly. If they get blown out, could you see the owner do a Mark Davis?
Well, I don't even know if it's blown out. I think it's if you stall, and this is totally possible Monday. If your potent, high-powered offense gets your shit fucked up by the Jets defense, and Zach Wilson moves the ball on you enough to win by 2 scores, I think that looks bad. And then losing at home to the Lions looks bad. Depends on how bad they lose at home.
Right.
And I'm not saying that's going to happen. That's a totally winnable game for the Chargers. But they need one of these two.
I agree.
They need one of these two. And who knows? Maybe you can make
if
a coaching
they drop
change.
both of them ugly, I think he could be gone. He might be gone.
So there's the other side of it is if they drop both of these games and they're still in the picture, maybe you make the change just to get another voice in there to try and get the job done. You don't want a lame duck calling the plays for you.
Because I believe, and I'm not going to bullshit you, I think what Mark Davis did was just try to fire up his team. He's seen that there was no fire in them. He had a handful of guys that were out there actually trying. The rest of them were going through the fucking motions. And I believe that's what happens when you lose your team. You know? And I think Anthony Pierce, you'll see him come in there. You're gonna see the Raiders come out and play hard. I truly believe that. I don't think they're gonna lay down. Listen, these guys got pride too. They don't like getting blown out.
I like what you're saying about the Raiders. In fact, I picked them this week. I still don't think they're getting into the playoff good just because of what's going on at quarterback. But I totally agree. And the Chargers, in a hypothetical where they do play well for Antonio Pierce, the Chargers could be the Raiders could be the blueprint for the Chargers to get the job done this week, or to get the job done going forward. And maybe you still have a shot at getting into the playoffs if you make a coaching change. Because he backed into a couple of those wins, and he's coached his way out of some games. And it goes back. This is a problem that goes back 3 years. This isn't exclusive to this year.
Right.
And the expectations were high. They need to make the playoffs this year.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. We know about watching coaches coach their way out of games. We've had that happen here too. So,
real quick. Cowboys owner Jerry Jones today was on 105.3 The Fan in Dallas, and he was asked what it was like to win a Super Bowl. Do you have any idea what his response was?
I do.
He doesn't remember?
No.
He said, quote unquote, "It's an absolute glory hole."
What are your thoughts on the glory hole, Uncle Sam?
Well, there is only one person you can ask about the glory hole.
Who's that?
Jimmy Johnson.
What about Robert Kraft?
What about him?
The glory hole?
Well, I mean,
what about Barry
that
Switzer?
was his girlfriend, remember?
What about Barry Switzer? Does he know a thing or two about the glory hole?
Switzer don't know shit. You couldn't even coach a fucking Super Bowl team.
What about Tom Landry?
You want to know how bad that is? You have the best team in football that just got done winning 3 fucking Super Bowls, okay? And you can't keep the ball rolling? It all fucking fell apart on you? What the fuck? You know?
So Barry Switzer is not well versed in the glory hole.
Obviously not.
So there was one other piece of news today. So Aaron Rodgers posted on his Instagram story a watch, a Zenith watch that he was obviously doing some sort of promotion for. And people are pointing out now that the date set on the watch was the 28th, and that the second hand's pointing straight up to 12. And now, in the Twitterverse, people are expecting him to come back for Thursday Night Football against the Browns on December 28th. How does that make you feel?
What do you think?
You
it's
won't
legit?
know. You won't know if this
You don't-
crazy
you don't- hey,
experimental surgery works.
You don't think he put that on there for a reason?
Oh, agreed, 100%. But you
Yeah.
won't know if this crazy experimental surgery worked and he did all the proper rehab until he takes that first hit,
Exactly.
or until someone twists his
Well,
ankle.
I
in the
mean, I
pocket.
don't know about the first hit, but if he's able to run and able to plant and able to cut, that will tell you right there. You know, as of right now, he's so far ahead of schedule that people are amazed by it. And let me tell you something. If he's sitting in the darkness hole
The glory hole.
and has some
Ayahuasca.
psychedelics with them, and I'm all for that. And if it's working, the psychedelics are working on it, I'm all for it. I say bring Aaron back.
Hey, if
I don't think I've ever respected a guy as much as Aaron Rodgers this year.
if Aaron Rodgers comes back and leads the Jets into a playoff seed, can we do a live episode where you sit and smoke ayahuasca?
I don't even know what that is.
It's the psychedelic.
I will smoke peyote with Aaron Rodgers.
No, not with Aaron Rodgers.
Oh yeah, I will smoke peyote with Bruce.
There we go. That's
How
what I
about
want.
that?
You and Bruce are going to smoke
Me and
peyote.
Bruce are
I
going to
don't
smoke.
want to.
We're going to smoke angel dust in front of everybody, and then after that, there's going to be some hammering, and we'll go forward on that
Wait a
later.
second. There's going to be some. Are you going to asshole punch Bruce?
No,
Actually, shockingly enough, there was a lot of talk about Bruce's asshole yesterday in the fantasy group chat. So
Yeah, well, everyone in that
everybody
conversation
needs to
can
stop
straight
because
up go
Bruce is in
fuck
second
themselves.
place, and you're all fucking jealous.
Stop crying like a bunch of little babies.
Tell him, Bruce.
yeah, you tell him.
Would you like to
Tell him,
call out
Bruce.
Some names
Show him your
No.
fist. Show him your
Cousin
fist,
Steven,
Bruce.
PJ. That's all I.
These are all
That's all I
fans of
know.
the show. These are all fans.
They
of the
can
show.
be
No, but now
fans
they're
all
gonna
they
watch
want.
now
but
to see if
the
someone
only
talking
one in
shit
front of me is PJ. So if he can, if he's gonna cry, that's fine. But Steven, I don't even want to hear it.
Oh, did you hear that? Did you hear that? PB and J.
Shout out to the CYO champs. There's some chirps going on. That game's going to be a
PB&J.
big one later in the year.
Did you hear that one? PB and J. He's got you.
Anyways,
Oh, he's got me this week.
do we have anything else to add? Bruce, anything to add?
Nah, I said my part.
That's it. Bruce just fucking mic dropped. Zolo, anything to add? Let's hear it.
All good.
All good? How does the weekend look for you? There's no Lions football. I mean, what the fuck you guys
The
going to
Lions
do?
football. I'm leaving for LA on Thursday, so I got to get some stuff done. Maybe rake my leaves, blow my
Okay.
leaves.
Nice leaf raking. Yep.
I'm gonna watch Michigan tomorrow night. I'm excited. I still want to talk more. Basically, there's new developments every day on the Michigan thing. I'd still love to talk
Oh
about it.
God, that's so overdone already, dude.
Thank you. I agree with you. I'm gonna
It's
watch
fucking.
Michigan.
Listen to me. It's to the point now where it's absolutely fucking ridiculous.
I agree.
It's absolutely ridiculous. But you know what? It does confirm what everybody thinks of Jim Harbaugh. He's a fucking asshole. Period.
Yeah, but he's our asshole.
He's an asshole.
He's our glory hole.
You know he is. He is, dude. You know he is. He's a fucking clown. The guy's a clown. They're all fucking clowns, dude. They're all fucking clowns, dude. And it's just stupid. It's dumb
At
already.
least he played in
The NCAA
like
sucks.
fucking,
The Big Ten sucks.
brother.
You guys make your fucking decisions and make it now and stop playing fucking games. What's the worst you're going to do to this guy over something dumb as stealing signs? Who gives a fuck? Stop already.
Couldn't say
It
any
just
better.
needs to stop.
And that's from a Michigan State fan over there.
I'm sorry?
I said, and that's from a Michigan State fan over there. Anyways, I'm gonna rake my leaves. I'm gonna watch some college football. I'm gonna watch the whole slate like I planned, like I mapped out on Sunday. Maybe go to the mall. I'm still trying to see Killers of the Flower Moon. Still haven't seen that yet, and I'd like to.
What is that?
It's the new Scorsese movie about the book about the oil Indian tribe in Oklahoma, the Osage tribe. It's supposed to be pretty good.
Okay.
Uncle Sam, what are you up to this weekend?
Sorry?
What are you doing this weekend?
What does it look like I'm doing?
Working?
That's what I do every weekend.
Bruce, you got anything big planned?
Jack shit.
Uh,
The new season.
say what?
OG Fortnite. That's about it.
Fortnite?
OG Fortnite.
Go.
What is that?
Fortnite. You've never played?
No,
Fortnite?
I know it's a game.
I guess they're
watched
coming
it.
out with the original version again now.
What does that mean? The
it's the
original
season 4
version.
version.
Fortnite. What does
What?
that mean?
Well, it's a good map. It's the map that everybody
Yes.
played.
Yeah.
With Tilted Towers
Tilted
and that
Towers
shit.
back,
Yeah,
Moisty
yeah.
Meyer.
I don't
The whole
want to
nine.
know
Shout out
what
to
any of that
Fortnite.
is. All I need to say is this:
Oh God.
you're looking forward to Fortnite. That's it.
And I have to make the picks video.
Okay. And what about your friend? Is she involved in any of this?
Okay, we're gonna.
She's
just
gonna
end
ford
it
his
now.
night.
I'm sorry.
President Baker just came into the chat.
Hold on. I'm asking Bruce some
You think
shit.
that my friend is just my entire world?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's how friends work.
Yeah, basically you drop everything.
have other
You drop
friends.
everything at the hat.
I
for that.
have every other friends. Like I don't just
you?
constantly hang. Yeah.
That's
Like
funny.
you.
We don't see you with
I'm like
any
you.
friends.
You just
I mean,
sit at
beside
home.
B-hole,
You sit
B-hole
at
don't
home
like
and
you no
fucking
more.
Play what's that stupid ass game you play on your PlayStation? For Honor.
I you know what? I haven't played that game in so long, dude.
Listen to me. President Baker's in the chat right now.
Okay.
He wants to know if anybody's making any meat this weekend, which because he was late today. I forgot to send him the link. So we addressed tip meat.
What do you got to
earlier.
send him the fucking link? You can't just turn his shit on.
I always send him the link.
Oh.
He's a loyal fan. You got to send him the link. I don't think there's going to be much tip meats this weekend.
I'll come through, Uncle Sam. What does that mean?
When you said that you're going to be working this weekend, he said that he's going to come through to see you. So
I don't know what the fuck that means. You know what? Don't bother.
anyways,
When I'm in work mode, I don't want to talk to people.
you're just such like a,
What?
I mean,
I don't give a fuck. You don't like it? Too bad.
anyways, thank you guys all for. Thank you all for listening to another episode of the Tip Balls Podcast. Make sure to follow our socials, Instagram and Twitter at Tip Balls, TikTok at Tip Balls Podcast. Shout out to Omar. He says he, quote unquote,
Big O.
he has meat for Leon. If you're listening to us on Spotify or Apple Music, check us out on YouTube, subscribe, and hit us up in the chat there. Thank you guys so much for listening. We will be back on Monday, full of Aladdin and ready to go.